Pit, Chuck McKay here. I'm here with Magic Matt Shea, and today we have a wild time. We're going to show you some of the labs that we have at Glen Meadow. So I'm here with Miss Stigler, who's going to tell us about the 7th and 8th grade classes, and also Miss Yost, who's here, and she's going to talk about the 6th grade classes. Now, these are exciting classes in Glen Meadow. So we have all of our students here, and they're going to show us what they do. So it's going to be very, very exciting. But first, a little bit about the lab. Tell us a little bit about it.
So in 6th grade, we have Foundations Lab, and this is where kids are really getting their footing for doing a very creative and independent project. We're focusing on the design process, on having the kids make a plan, work with it, see if it works, change it, modify it, and improve it, and then move on and try it again and again and again until they get something that actually works. And they're really enjoying the different ways that we're doing that right now through paper airplane projects, designing bulletin boards, creating web pages. They've had their hands in a lot of different things.
And the idea, of course, is for them to develop some grit.
Yes.
Right? When,
yes.
Things don't work.
Intuitiveness. Keep going. Make it fast. Make it better. Make it faster. Improve it somehow, and just keep going and don't give up.
And then they moved to 7th and 8th grade with Miss Stigler. Tell us a little bit about those programs.
And in 7th and 8th grade, we have Innovations Lab and Creations Lab, which continues with that design process. They're doing some really amazing projects in that class, in both of those classes. In the 8th grade, they are really off and running independently already, as they had Innovations last year. And in Innovations Lab, we are starting in getting involved in some school improvement projects. In 7th grade, they also have the option to take engineering. And so in engineering, we're getting those foundations where they can learn the basics of measuring and technical sketching, and they are designing and building things and hopefully moving into the engineering classes at high school.
Awesome. All right, so what we're going to do right now is I'm going to send them to their different stations. Miss Davino's going to join us, and we're going to take a look at what these kids are doing. Are you ready?
Yes.
Great!
And I was just talking to these young ladies about the project they're working on. So why don't we share some of the things we were just discussing?
We are doing a bulletin board design challenge where we take bulletin boards from teachers that they were assigned, and we, for the months of November and December, we just can take them over, and whether they want specific things on them or they're open to our creativity, we just do them basically.
Right, and I think you were sharing it's the month, and what else? Why don't you show the other component of how you come up with the ideas?
The subject that the teacher teaches, so we will try to incorporate whether it's math or whatever subject with the month that it's in.
I think it's wonderful that we have students working collaboratively with teachers to create some really memorable bulletin boards. I bet they're going to be some of the best ones that Glen Meadow has ever seen. So let's talk to our 3rd 6th grade group. So these two ladies are working on some really, really interesting things. So why don't you talk to me a little bit about your flying project?
Well, the flying project that we did, we started it in like September or October, and basically here we put our research for it. Like we were supposed to do 3 planes and pick one of them to make a plane as, and then we recorded what our plane looked like,
right?
What the attempts were, like what happened during the attempts.
So you collected some data.
And how much feet it went. And then we did 2 videos, one where you could see what, like the interview with you and another person, or just you, where you tell about your plane, what happened, overall stuff. And then you took a video of what your plane looks like in action.
So your plane that you were working on, did you have a goal for the plane when you started?
Our goal was to at least go 15 feet.
Okay, so it was distance? Okay, and after so many iterations and revising that plane, were you able to achieve that goal?
Yes.
Excellent. Do you know how many times it took before you were able to achieve that?
For me, it took 2 times, but for other people, it
Yeah, for me it took like 6 or 7 times because I had to adjust the wings so it would fly better.
So when you go through that process, you're making adjustments based on what?
How far it flew.
Right, how far it flew and how far you want to get it to fly. Good. Why don't you talk to me a little bit about the Google Forms? I love this part of your website.
So after you read the project, you could click yes or no if you liked it or not, and then if you clicked yes, or even if you clicked no, you could click a button to state your opinion. And then after you clicked it, it took you to a Google form where you could state your opinion and how I could improve my project or my website. And that helped for me because I could make my website better if people didn't like something that I had on it.
That's wonderful. And one of the things that I love about this project is that we're really talking about getting feedback from our audience so that we can revise and we can improve things. This is a really, really essential part of instruction for people who are watching from home. Every time students have the ability to collaborate with one another and to think critically and to problem solve, it takes the project they're working on and it moves it forward. It moves it into the direction of meeting the goal, like making the airplane fly 15 feet. And congratulations that both of you have achieved that. And congratulations to all of our 6th grade students for working on these wonderful projects here at Glen Meadow.
All right, now we're with the 8th graders, and what the 8th graders have been tasked to do is to create games and projects for outdoors, something that we can use during the school day. So tell me about this challenge.
So our project is basically to persuade the board to get these games so we can play them outdoors or indoors for gym and outdoors for recess.
So how hard is it to try to persuade adults to do this kind of thing?
Seems pretty difficult because obviously you could get hurt in any of these, but we're trying to make it like as safe as we can.
All right, so what did you have to do to make them safer?
Well, for the giant Jenga, we were thinking about instead of using wood blocks, using foam blocks so that if it fell, it would hurt you.
And did that come through in the design process when you were doing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you thought that it would be safer. All right, tell us some of these games that you've created.
Alright, so the first one is live foosball, so it's like the game foosball that everybody plays in their basement, but it's huge, and like every little person is actually a real person.
Oh, Mr. Shea and I would love to play that game. All right, what's the next one?
We also have giant Jenga, so it's like these giant Jenga blocks, but like what Dylan said, they're made out of foam, so they're safer. And the goal is the same as the small Jenga. And they also have Gaga Ball, which is like there's this wooden arena where the kids would all be in the middle, and you have to kind of scoop the ball and hit it into the other player's shins. And once they get hit in the shin, they're out, and then the last man standing wins.
The last game we're trying to build is 9 square in the air. So it's basically 4 square on the ground, but instead it's in the air. So you stand in things, and you want to you move around in a circle until you get to the middle, and then that's the object that you use to get in the middle.
Okay, so what's the best thing about taking this class?
Probably getting to design all the different projects and seeing what we could do independently and what we could do with partners or with a group.
Okay, so I am here with Jack and Paul, who are both in 7th grade, and they're working on innovations right now. So Jack, why don't you talk a little bit about the Anti-Talent Project?
So, pretty much this project is, it's an outside of school project, and your first step is to pick a skill that you're not good at that maybe you would never even attempt to try.
Okay.
And then what you want to do is, while you're at home, you want to, first of all, try the skill, and you want to film your progress on the Google site. And also on your Google site, you want to have a before. So,
What was your anti-talent?
So my anti-talent is a bicycle kick.
In soccer,
Mhm.
right? Okay. So I guess part of what they're trying to do with this project is showing growth from the beginning, when it truly is an anti-talent, to maybe your progress through that. Is that what you're trying to tell us? So tell us, do you shoot a video at the very beginning of maybe attempting a bicycle kick in soccer?
You can also take a picture as well.
Okay. And that provides evidence to show your skill level.
Yep.
And then what happened? Where are you in the project now? Partway through, all the way through?
We haven't really started yet.
Okay.
I haven't had time at home.
Yeah,
to
this is a
actually-
brand new one for you.
Yeah.
How did you get the idea for the soccer kick?
Well, because I play soccer, and bicycle kick's a really cool move to master.
They're very cool.
So
And not easy, right?
Yeah.
And I would really commend you for taking a look at a project that's completely outside of school, right? I mean, that's a huge task.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't we talk a little bit more about, do we have more on this link that you want to share?
Yep.
So this is more about the anti-talent.
Yeah. So,
Right. Can you share a couple of your obstacles to success? I think that might be interesting.
So some obstacles is like, well, first you have to perform the move, maybe without a soccer ball.
Okay.
You don't want to focus on hitting it. Then I would take a ball and I'll perform the move with the ball.
Okay.
And then the final obstacle, what I'll do is I'll get one of my goals from home and I will do the move but then focus on my power and accuracy.
Okay.
Kicking the ball.
Fair enough. If you're going to perform a successful bicycle kick, it's got to have accuracy,
Yeah.
right? So I think, Paul, you are going to talk a little bit about school improvement projects, right?
Yeah. So basically, Mr. DeYoung in Innovations Lab has given us an array of different ideas for ways that we can improve different events and things that go on in the school. So some of the ideas that he gave us on the list are filming school functions, creating websites for after-school activities.
That's a great idea.
Filming school news and content, almost like a podcast like this, but for the school and for the students. A bulletin board idea, other than the ones that the sixth graders are doing. And then if you came up with something on your own that you thought, you could mention it to him, and then we had a meeting with each and every kid to talk about their ideas and finalize it and get it in the works.
And what I love about all of these things that we're talking about here, both the anti-talent and the school project, you're talking about things that really matter to the students here at Glen Meadow, and about some of the wonderful things that are happening here that we want the rest of the community to know about. So good job, gentlemen.
All right, I'm here with Logan Peak, Morgan Freifelder, and we got a space age program, don't we, boys?
Yeah.
All right, tell us a little bit about it.
So we're taking part in an after-school program, Robotics, where one half of the part of it is to create a project off of a subject that they give you, and this here is space.
So we created as we call it, a glorified Zamboni, where when they only have a limited amount of water, so this would be able to be taken up and it would be driven around to craters that they have found that have ice.
Mm-hmm.
So it would go over to the crater and drill out the ice, and at the same time it can heat it to become water and purify it for drinkable water, and then it can be stored for use later on, and it can be used over and over and over. And we have a nuclear generator, and each one can last about 2 years. So if they bring about 2 or 3 of them, it can last about 6 years of use.
Gentlemen, how did you come up with this idea?
It was actually tough. We spent about 2 days worth of it on trying to figure it out. And on the second day, we came across one of the kids working on this. He's not here with us, but he came across water usage and then finding water on the moon.
Mm-hmm.
So we went with the idea, and we first went with solar panels because we were trying to figure out how are we going to get the energy. And we were going to do a solar panel project. Then we figured solar panels were already being used on Earth. It would just be a matter of taking it up. So we basically had to create something brand new, and this is what we came up with.
Morgan, what's the best thing about robotics?
The fact of designing your own thing, and you get to express your creativity with how you make the project and how you get to discuss the project.
Logan?
Working together and creating a project.
Awesome. Thank you, men.
Welcome back. So we are here with 2 of our engineering students. Dylan and Joseph are working on 2 really wonderful projects. So Joseph, why don't you start by talking a little bit about the first project you have all the way over there?
Okay, so our first projects were air skimmers, and they work by gliding along the floor, and our goal was to get them at least 15 feet along the floor, and most of them made it like that.
How are they propelled? How do they get across the floor? Is there a fan?
There was air pushed into here and
Okay.
made them glide up on the floor. And here we have the measurements of each part of the fins and the air scoop on the bottom. And we also have paper air clips.
Paper clips?
Paper clips
Right.
on the front so we can propel them.
And how is this similar to any kind of current transportation that our audience might be familiar with?
They're kind of similar to like subway, where they can go on the floor, like how subways are on rails, but this is the floor instead of rails.
That's great. Thank you. And Dylan, what about the things that you're working on?
We were supposed to make puzzle cubes, which is you're supposed to make lots of different pieces, and you're supposed to put them together to make a cube. And so first what we did was we took the Lincoln cubes and put them together to make our pieces, and then we connected all of them using the Lincoln cubes to make our squid.
And then why don't you show the audience some of your drawings? What's the importance of drawing these out?
This is the key, and you're supposed to make a 3D model of each of the pieces that you're supposed to make, so you can virtually see how to put them together.
Right, because not all those pieces go together just any which way, right?
Yeah,
so
they go
it's like a
together one
puzzle.
way.
Right, exactly. So if you do it wrong, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Right, so it's kind of process of elimination. You have to try it over and over again.
Yeah.
And then this is your key so that you know which pieces go together. Right? Good job. Thanks so much for sharing.
So these are amazing kids, Glen Meadow, and all the great things that they're doing. Let's take a look at some of the other things that Vernon students have been doing this week. We're going to find out about a young lady who skated in a national figure skating competition, and our police officers coming and talking about safety with our students, and then some senior nights as the fall season ends. All right, so there was safety in our schools. We want to thank the Vernon Police Department. They're very active members in our community. Sergeant Kazicki was leading this one with Sergeant Patterson and other officers. They talked to our students about safety, and it was a great lesson for them. And they got to go outside and see the police car, so great time was had by all. But again, thanks to the police and all their active involvement in our community. All right, we were kicking it Halloween style. We have pictures from all over the district as our children did wonderful things with their costumes. Thanks to the parents who got involved in all of the activities, but also thanks to the parents who sent food in with many of our schools so that they could take the scare out of hunger and donate lots of food to local food pantries. They've really turned Halloween into a great social event where students are also responsible to the community at large and are caring, showing their caring side to our less fortunate. So kudos to all the schools and the wonderful costumes that the children had on. Speaking of which, should we watch out for deer or watch out for these high school zombies? These are amazing students up at the high school who dressed up as zombies and walked the hallways. Terrific scene. Senior night for football. The seniors were honored with their parents. Congratulations to the football team on their win over Dover. It was a great evening, and here they are with the cheerleaders and also their parents. So senior night was a great night up at the high school. Again, thanks to Mr. Foley for planning the senior nights and to our football coaching staff. Done a great job with our young men. Ninth grade World History Honors visited the 9/11 Memorial and Museum in New York City on Friday. There's Dr. Anderson with a couple of the teachers from the Ninth Grade Academy and also all the students who went. I think that it was quite an experience for our students, and they got to sense the experience of 9/11 and how traumatic it was for our nation. Our students really got a lot out of this discussion and this trip. Lounsbury Hollow staff went crazy this year. As Mr. Mudrick said, kudos to my good sports when he sent this picture over. Well done, everyone. You look fantastic. All County Band. Last week we talked about the All County Band and our members of the All County Band, and I wanted to make sure that you had a picture of all of them. Congratulations to all these fine musicians as they ply their trade with the All County Band and possibly even with the All State Band. We are very proud of you. We're very proud of our marching band. Mike DeTalpa has been accepted to a prestigious Vancouver program for makeup artistry, and I just wanted to show you some of the works of this young man. Mike is a little bit of a legend up at the high school with all the creative things that he does with stage makeup. Audrey Steinbach came in 16th in the Junior National Figure Skating Competition. Congratulations to her this past weekend. It was her first time in the juvenile competition, and it was the first time she was ever scored. So kudos to you, young lady. Way to make it happen. Vernon is very proud of you. Mrs. Sweeney and Mrs. Denninger's kindergarten class conducted various pumpkin experiments, determining if they sink or float. And after they decided that they do indeed float, they then gutted their pumpkins. So as you can see them reaching in and grabbing their seeds. So it was a great day for experimentation on the holiday. Vernon Township High School football community, including the athletes, the band, and the junior and senior classes who run the snack bar, wanted to have a thank you. And it was a game where they presented to the Glenwood Pochuck Fire Volunteer Ambulance a check for $300. The point was that they were thanking them for being at all the games and being there in case there was any emergencies. And from the central office on down, we would like to thank the Glenwood Pochuck emergency folks for all of their dedication to the Vernon community. We're very lucky to have you. And wonderfully, this past weekend was Up to Down Staircase at the high school, a great drama that was enjoyed by all. It was a packed house on Friday and Saturday night. Well done to our thespians. Here's some great shots from the actual production.
Great, so here we are at the end of our podcast. I'm so excited to say that on Saturday night I got to attend Up to Down Staircase, which is our high school drama production for the fall. It was absolutely outstanding. For a straight show, we had a huge cast. Students and staff did a wonderful job. Packed house for a straight show. It was really wonderful to see with a great message. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with Up to Down Staircase, but it really is a great play that talks about students in high school and the meaning that teachers have and the impact that teachers can have on students. Hopefully you can see from the podcast that Dr. McKay and I did today that the students in this program have had a tremendous impact by their teachers here at Glen Meadow. We're doing amazing things here, not just in innovations and with web design and coding and in engineering, but in lots of other areas of the district. So don't miss out on the great things happening here in Vernon.